Alright, so this is where I'm at. These are a pain in the ass to get in here because they want to stick. So I spray them down with a little gun oil on the outside and kind of helps me through. Now, you're not going to see all this latex once this is done, because this is all going to be covered and they're all going to be pocketed in. So these are also going to be, what do you call it, lined. The same with the guns. This whole piece is going to be completely covered, tucked in the sides, and then each gun is going to have its own pocket sewed in, so everything would be covered with the same material. So you're not going to see all this foam. So the little bit of a mess that you may be seeing now, you're not going to see once it's all done. But once I get it done, then I got to take it and have it made. Now, a friend of mine might be able to do it, but it may be a little too much. So I'm going to have to find a real professional sewer. Making the pockets would be easy for the guns. Making the pockets for these would be easy. But you know what? It may not be all that hard, because like I'm thinking here, if I make the pockets for this with some overlap, naturally, and the one for each gun with the same, a 1-inch overlap, then I take a piece of material and place it, snug it down, put a slice, then just sew the pockets into that. And the same here, just sew the pockets in. So it may not be all that hard. Yeah, we'll see what happens. But meanwhile, I've got 5 of the 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, possibly 6 or 7. Alright, of these done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Well, I don't know if I'm going to get 11 of these in here. I'm going to have to kind of figure that out. So, alright. Anyway, that's where I'm at, guys. Alright, this is where we're at so far. Now, by the way, I got this idea from Justin. The Jetsons. Justin. Survival Mindset, I believe it is. He had mentioned, because I was going through this, and he had sent a comment in saying, why don't I just put them all in a box in here and label them? Well, that's what kind of gave me the idea. Now, instead of having them all in a box, you know, we're all going to be kind of banging around and label them on themselves. I decided, well, this is the best way to go. They're in boxes, but they're in individual boxes. So this idea kind of arrived through the comment from Judson. Judson. Yeah, the Judsons. But anyway, that's where we're at. Why am I having a problem with that word today, that name? Justin. Alright, I got to cut more. I didn't realize it, but I've only had the 5 of these at this size. So I have to cut more. I need at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more. But I do have one over there that's ½ inch smaller, which will work with the not the Beretta. I just have one of the magazines for it here. It will work on one of them, so I really don't need that one, but I need 1, 2. I need 5 more. So let me cut this down, shut this down, and if you want, I'll show you. You can watch how I make it, or how I adjust it, because I couldn't find one that I needed, the size that I needed. I found them close. The ones that I bought are supposed to have been the size, according to the advertisement, because I double checked it, but they're way bigger than this, what they're supposed to be. So, if I had found the other ones, I would have just kept these and used them for something. You always find something to use these things for. But no matter which ones I found, they were all off a little bit, so I might as well just butcher these. First thing you got to do is take the screw out of them all and get the crap out of them, because they got the. Alright. Then, because I'm going to run them through the table saw, now I've got a 62 or 64 tooth blade in here. And as long as you feed it kind of slow, you have no problems with it. But you got to put 2 screws in, diagonal corners, because you don't want anything flopping around, because you want to cut it as a whole. And like I was saying, the glue that I have, the epoxy, whatever you want to call it, contact cement, is the same glue that they use on that TV program Tank, or Tanked. It's the program where they make custom fish tanks for all those, well, for anybody, but naturally only the stars can afford them. I'm sure they make smaller tanks for everybody, you know, that just about anybody can afford, but their main business is the big custom stuff. So, but I didn't call actually, I got on their website. Bleh, I am stumbling around today with words. I got on their website and I went to the info, and I had asked them, what are they using to assemble these tanks? You know, because you watch them, and when it's like water, and they put it on there, and it like automatically grabs, and it's like instant. And I said, wow, you know, even if the tank is watered and it's dripping, they take this stuff and they put it on there, and it stops the drip and seals it, and you know, I mean, it's pretty good stuff. Now, what am I doing? Oh, here they are. So anyway, I've said it before, I'll say it again. I sent them a email asking them what they use. And this guy that works in the shop, which is one of the headliners, Redneck, he actually emailed me back. And it wasn't just a form email. He emailed me back, you know, basically telling me what it is they use, which was great. So, all right, now you got to measure, but because the top is going back on, I got to cut off at 1.5 inches because there's a 1/2 inch top going back on it. So. And I just put it here at about 1.5, and I'm going to put it right on the line. This way I don't have to worry about taking the line or leaving the line. I just put it right on the line. So it's right on 1.5 inches. Now I'm going to have to make 2 passes, as you can see, and I got to cut it from the open end because this top comes off and goes back on. You'll see what I mean in a minute. Sorry for the noise. this is what I mean about the top coming off. And you had to make sure that I go down far enough. If I only had to take off like 1/4 of an inch, I wouldn't have been able to do it on this side, because this has the threads in it, and they go down almost, well, they go down about halfway, maybe a little bit more. So if I had to cut any closer to the top, I wouldn't have been able to do it this way. It would have been a lot harder. So, but that's basically how it's done. So then what I'll do is I got a block with some sandpaper on it. I'll clean up the ends. I put a couple clamps on this and I get that liquid glue. I'll show you that when I get ready to do it. And clamp it closed. And then I cut off what I need this way. After it's all clamped and sealed and everything is nice and nicey. That's how it works. So you've seen that one. I got a few more to do. I'll be back. Alright, so now that I got 4 of them cut, take the centers off. But meanwhile, I just take this piece of wood, put some paper on it, and I just kind of clean up the edges a little bit. And then I'll blow it all out. Alright, now I got to blow some of this clean so I can glue it, because I can't do any more cutting until I get these glued, because I can no longer screw them back together now, because the threads are no longer in the box. So we gotta blow these out real quick. Alright, now, as I was saying, sorry for the air compressor, that'll go off in a minute. The glue that they use on tank, well, it's not going to go off in a minute because I got to do this again. I didn't realize I forgot the box. Let me get the glue. This is one that they use, which is number 4. This is like water. You get this little squeegee with it with the little needle on it. Alright. The other one they use is number 16. Number 16 is like a maple syrup. Alright, and it takes, this sets up in like a minute or 2. I mean, this sets up quick. Minute. You don't need anything crazy tight. You just want to just kind of keep it snugged a little bit. Now what I do is I use this is like a medicine syringe for pets and things. I keep all this stuff laying around because you never know when you're going to need it for filling, like in this case. I use a syringe to fill it instead of trying to pour it. And I don't like to keep this open because I don't want it to go bad, because it can go bad on you. So if I leave this in exposed to air, it'll just evaporate. I don't even fill that up when I'm using it because I don't want to expose it too long because it can evaporate while it's sitting there. Tighten up the top, flip it over once. Put it over there. Put the top on this. And put one of these together. Now, it's not going to lip in anymore, so you got to kind of put it there. So it takes a second to get it where you need it. Like I say, you don't need any heavy-duty clamps. You just got to have a couple clamps to hold it. Come on. Here we go. Come on, right there. There you go. There you go, buddy. That's the way I like it. You put one on this side. Like I say, easy, lightweight clamps. Now you take this, and it's as simple as putting it on there and letting it run down. You can see how watery it actually is. I mean, this stuff is watery. And it starts to melt almost instantly. Like right now, it's basically getting to a point to where it's melting in. It actually melts the plastic, which is nice. And that little extra space in there, you don't even have to worry about it. Because with the little pressure on it, it'll end up sealing that right up. So I just do all around the corners, all around. And make sure that it runs in, out. There's just as much going in the box as there is on the outside. And that's basically how it works. I'll just let that sit. And we'll do another one. Now I don't have a bunch of those small clamps, unfortunately. But I got some of these big pieces of crap. And alright, got them all done. However, gotta let them sit because I'm gonna have to readjust them a little bit as they sit here, because actually as things got closer to the end, we started getting tighter, which is okay. It's just that it's going to take a little while to get everything readjusted so that it's all basically evened out. Because I started here, I had a lot of pressure down here. So I just got to equal out the pressure a little bit, which isn't a big deal. It's just doing a little bit of this. Yeah, it's starting to work just by doing that. So basically, we're basically done. So we'll see what happens here. Let them sit for a while, let the foam acclimate to the new shape, and then we'll see what happens. So that's that. Now I have a couple of these that I'm not using that I can use as a template so that I can sew in the pocket inserts. And the same with the firearms. So, yeah, closes much easier as you got the bow up on the top. That's excellent. Excellent. We blow it out, and this here way I can at least get the magazines in there for now. And then I'll have to do it one more time. Take them out and clean them. Blow out the magazines once it's totally done. Alright, so for now I'm just going to throw them in here because they're laying all over the counter. And I just so keep them all in here. FN57s. What are these? These are, I believe these are the 40 caliber Storm. 40 caliber Storm, did you say? That's what I said. I want to make sure all the adhesive and everything is dry. Yeah, okay. And then we have these over here, which I believe these are the FNs. I just don't remember what FN. If these are the 9s, FNS or the FNX. So we're going to have to take one out here. So there we go. That's the idea. That's kind of like what I'm talking about. The magazines are here. 45 FN, 45. FN 57, 57s, FNX9, FNX9, FNS9, FNS. 226, 226, 92F, 92F, Storm 4, 40, 40. Over here that you're not seeing, over there, is the Glock. I don't want to leave it out of the picture, but there it is. So, that's where we are. Now, I want to get a rag just to throw over that stuff for now. I should have some towels over here that I can release. Nothing like keeping some old rags laying around. You never know when you're going to need them. In this case, towels. Actually, I probably could have tucked this into those slots so that I didn't have to worry about it. You know what? I ain't going to worry about it. This is going to be just fine until I get something made. And once I get something made, I'll probably still throw a towel over them, but other than that, that's where we're at. So, make sure everything's out of the way. Everything is where it's supposed to be. Good. Done. Now I can put that back in the house. Yeah.